In other news, the Philippines is gearing up to host and chair the ASEAN Summit in 2026. Find out when and how this could impact the Philippines in MJ Mondejar's report from Jakarta, Indonesia.
3 years from now, the Philippines will again take on the role of chairman of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN. President Bongbong Marcos announced this during his attendance at the 43rd ASEAN Summit here in Jakarta, Indonesia.
To this end, it is my pleasure to announce that the Philippines is ready to take the helm and chair of ASEAN in 2026. We will fortify the foundations of our community building and navigate ASEAN as it embarks on a new chapter.
For economist Dr. Michael Batu, having the Philippines as a chairman of ASEAN will give the country a significant advantage.
Kung sino man yung host, makaka-impluwensya ito ng malaki dun sa mga itatakdang magiging agenda ng ASEAN sa mga meeting nito sa hinaharap.
President Marcos believes that ASEAN should prioritize digital literacy and the development of transferable skills, strengthen micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, and support business startups. Attention should also be given to creative economies, the welfare of women, overseas Filipino workers, and programs against climate change.
The Philippines will continue to champion for change that will strengthen our institutions, improve our decision-making, and uphold ASEAN centrality.
Pagka ikaw ang nag-host, siyempre makakapunta sa ating bansa yung mga foreign investor galing sa ating mga kapitbahay sa ASEAN. So makakatulong ito ng malaki sa pagpapalawig ng mga investment sa ating bansa.
The chairmanship rotates in alphabetical order. The Philippines last chaired ASEAN in 2017 during the previous Duterte administration. In the coming years, Laos will assume the ASEAN chairmanship, followed by Malaysia in 2025. And in 2026, the Philippines will take over the chair from Malaysia. The host country chairs all ASEAN summits and related summits and is obligated to promote the interest of member nations, given the region's substantial contribution to the global economy.
So ang combined GDP nito, MJ, is 3.3 trillion US dollars. At ang ASEAN ang isa sa mga pinakamabilis na economic growing region sa mundo.
For Ganamable of Philippines, MJ Mondejar, SMNI News.
In other news, the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, and the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, may meet this month for weapons talks, but the Kremlin said that they have nothing to say on this matter. Meanwhile, South Korea's president accused North Korea of being a threat to Southeast Asia. The details from Kim Song.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is allegedly planning to travel to Russia this month to meet President Vladimir Putin. Reports citing U.S. officials said Kim will possibly travel from Pyongyang by an armored train to Vladivostok on Russia's Pacific coast, where he will meet Putin. Last month, White House National Security spokesman John Kirby raised concerns about possible arms negotiations between Pyongyang and Moscow. To recall, Russia already announced its plan to conduct joint military exercises with North Korea. This statement follows Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu's visit to North Korea for the 70th anniversary of the end of the Korean War in the month of July. On Saturday, the Russian ambassador to North Korea stated that he doesn't know if there are trilateral drills that will be held between Russia, North Korea, and China. Still, he said that this move is appropriate following the trilateral military exercise conducted by South Korea, Japan, and the United States. North Korea has conducted 6 nuclear tests since 2006 and many missile tests over the years, but it rarely conducts military exercises with other countries. Meanwhile, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol branded North Korea's advancing missile programs as a direct threat to the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN. Yoon made the remarks in an interview with Indonesia's Daily Compass. His words also come ahead of his visit to Jakarta, Indonesia, as he plans to join a series of annual ASEAN-related summits. According to Yoon, the North poses a threat with its missile provocations and nuclear threats. With this, he aims to call for support in dealing with such threats. Yoon traveled to Indonesia on Tuesday, and he is also set to travel to India later this week to attend the G20 summit. eyeing the denuclearization of North Korea. The South Korean president urged unity among ASEAN countries to meet such threats resolutely. Yoon added and reiterated that the stability in the Indo-Pacific region is also connected to global peace and stability. Furthermore, Yoon requested trilateral cooperation amongst Japan, South Korea, and China and hopes that the cooperation between ASEAN and the three dialogue partners in Northeast Asia will grow stronger. Yoon also underlined Seoul's commitment to expanding support for the ASEAN region. Seoul, Sobogo Kim Sang, Imnida, SMNI News, South Korea.
Workers at two major liquefied natural gas or LNG facilities in Australia have announced a plan to launch a strike for 2 weeks from September 14th. Sheena Salim reports.
Workers at Chevron's Gorgon and Wheatstone LNG projects in Western Australia will launch more strikes amid an escalating dispute over pay and work conditions.
The 2-week strike will start on September 14. The two facilities accounted for about 7% of global LNG supply last year. The announcement of a strike came after almost all of 461 employees from the Gorgon and Wheatstone sites rejected the company's pay package proposal. News of prolonged strike action has raised fears of disruption to LNG exports and sent European gas prices to a nearly 2-month high. A representative from Chevron said it is now trying to find a solution for the company, its employees, and the gas market.
Research and analysis provider Bloomberg NEF warned that a 2-week shutdown at the Gorgon and Wheatstone facilities could lower Australian output by 1.1 million tons. Reporting from New South Wales, this is Sheena Salim, SMNI News, Australia.